member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com.
Roll for Initiative.
The Roll for Initiative podcast, issue number debatedly 55.
No, it's 55.
Yes. We were arguing about that before the show. Anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Ian Vincent, along with DM Nick as usual.
Hello.
And joining us via Scotland is DM Chrispy.
It's great.
You're in Scotland, really?
Be here.
Chrispy always rolls with it. Anyway, so we're back for another...
He's really in Scotland right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really tired. It's
like
late in the morning.
Yeah, man.
Wow. That's cool. You're my new best friend.
So anyway, Jason had to step out tonight. He actually had a lot of work to do because of the holidays. So happy 4th of July, everybody. Late now, but...
Yeah, how was your 4th, Vince?
Well, I was sick most of the weekend, and then...
joy.
kind of stayed home, hung out, and had my own little BBQ, and played some games, and we tried to get more of a superhero game going, but Chrispy flaked out on us, so...
I was busy playing D&D.
Oh, okay, so you disappointed me and Glenn that way, so alright.
Oh, you're trying to play over Skype?
Yeah. Well, since he's in Scotland, it's kind of hard to play a game.
Yes. I thought you were pulling my leg all of a sudden. I'm like, no!
That's really about it. How about you, Nick?
Mine was good. It was okay, you know. Bought a lot of stuff for, the grill.
Yeah.
Did my famous ribs. So, really enjoyed
I've
that.
never heard of them, so they must not.
Well, I have to send you the recipe.
Hey.
It involves beer.
Last year in August, I was in your state, in your town, and I didn't get any ribs.
Sorry, next time when you're in town, I'll make you ribs.
So, Gen Con.
Okay. Deal.
I expect the whole...
Any excuse to buy a rack of ribs and make them again, I'll do it.
Good. The hotel I'm staying at, I'll be like, Nick, this is where I'm at. Bring my ribs.
Okay. Can do. It was okay. Bought a whole bunch of fireworks that were not legal in this state. And, well,
So Nick and the Nickettes had fun?
Yeah, everybody had a really good time. It was really fun. And, just 235 years. Imagine that.
Wow, Nick, you're that old?
No, the country, you dingbat.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
She don't look a day over 200.
Yeah. And you, Mr. Scotland?
Well, I went up to the Highlands and sheared some sheep.
Did you see Connor McLeod?
I did, of the Clan McLeod.
Yes.
I told him that he could not die, and he said that I smelled like haggis. It was crazy.
Yo, that must have been weird being there, like, in the UK while it's, Independence Day here.
Everyone hated me, but I just told them I was Canadian.
Did you have to apologize to anybody?
No, I just told them I was Canadian, so they didn't look down on me.
That's the typical...
It's like, oh man, what are you going on about? It's a really nice house you've got here. Yeah. I'm gonna go outside.
Hey. So what'd you really do?
We had the family D&D game finally, and they let me tell you, you think they're all nice now, but geez, they're pretty brutal, man. They just wanted to loot everything.
So this is what you were doing, that you were so busy you couldn't play superheroes?
Yeah, I also got free pizza, so
that's all it takes.
I mean, if you wanted to order me a pizza from Pennsylvania, like
to Scotland?
Yeah, to Scotland.
I don't know if they have pizza that be delivered that
far.
The
delivery charge would be outrageous.
I think so.
Yeah, not good pizza up there in Scotland, huh?
It's all barley and sheep stomach.
Ugh.
Yum. Topped with mozzarella.
Yeah.
All right. So, Nick, do we have any reviews this week?
Funny you mentioned that. Yes, we do. We have one review.
Yay.
And it's from DM Kojo.
Oh, he just signed up at the forums recently.
Oh, cool. The ones that I don't frequent often enough?
Yeah, the ones you only have less than 10 posts.
Yeah.
And Chrispy never shows up either, too.
I was just on there yesterday. I've got...
We lurk.
Go ahead, Nick.
I'm on there right now.
DM Kojo says, great job. He gives us 5 stars. Says, this is a fantastic podcast. I haven't played AD&D in 20 years, but when I came across some of my old game books a few months back, I got excited to play again. Listening to the podcast gets me even more excited and gets me thinking about the game like a DM again. Hopefully I can play again soon. Thanks, guys, for all the hard work and dedication you put into this. The hard work really shows. Well, thank you, DM Kojo. And I think maybe there might be kind of a question in there. It's like, where can I find players? You didn't say that. But, there are some spots. I think we even have one on the website for osrgaming.org. Isn't there like seeking players area?
Yeah, we have a section that says looking for players, but
yeah. So that's a good place to look and scout around, see what you can find. And I know they escaped me, but I know there's some websites that are specifically geared to like gamers seeking gamers for something.
penandpapergames.com.
Ah, there you go. Ah, yes. So hopefully that'll help you out a little bit. But thank you for the review, and keep them coming, everybody. All reviews, no matter what, out there on iTunes. We read them all, and we appreciate everything. We take everything for what you say, and we mull it about our heads, and we'll see what we can do for you.
Nick cuddles it extra time and strokes his hair and
yes,
calls it George.
I stroke it and call it George.
Yeah, and as far as finding people to play, the best bet is to find people online, Skype.
Yeah.
And your second best bet is to say, listen, I'm running this game. And then you'll get people. And then once you get into a group with the people, you can run a few sessions and be like, listen, does someone else want to take over for a while?
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. If you're lucky enough to live in an area where there's gaming stores still, you can always check it out down there. But they seem to be few and far between.
I got one gaming store near me, and it's like 40 miles away, and all they do is play Magic the Gathering, and if you're lucky, they play Pathfinder. They're mostly D&D 4.0. Yep. I can't wait for 5.0.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw the rumors about that too?
There's no rumors. There's truth behind it.
Oh my goodness. So wait a minute. 4.0 has been only about what? 3 years?
Well, 2008.
So yeah, a little over 3 years now.
Well, according to the way Wizards of the Coast has been working it, the longevity of the system is every 4 years, except for 3 to 3.5. That was only 2 years.
Yeah, but it was still basically the same.
But
system.
3.5, initially it was only supposed to be a little bit of a jump, but they ended up the way the design went. But do you have sources for where you've been reading that it's happening? Or?
It's from the OSR Gaming forums. Actually, was it FJW posted up something to do with one of the blogs of one of the developers talking about the next edition of D&D already, so it looks like they're going to do a lot of... Again, I know what it's going to turn out to be. They're going to do a base system with no options. There's going to be a core book, and they're going to make optional rule books. It's I could just see Wizards of the Coast's mouth drooling over how much money they're going to make on this.
Oh god, we're trying to reinvent the wheel here again.
Yep.
Or in this case, reinventing the orc. So...
Yes, I'd like just to take the time to say, we hear what you've been saying about a second edition Thaco podcast, Chrispy.
What?
Yeah.
I haven't said anything.
Calling us the Neckbeard Show.
Oh, I never said that.
I don't even have a beard.
That's right. Take that, Chrispy.
You just want to try and start your own catchphrase.
Yeah, well, that catchphrase will not get caught on. I'm deleting it.
You're right, that catchphrase, take that Chrispy, will not catch on.
Take that, Chrispy.
Because it's a derivative of a much better catchphrase. So take that, Vince.
Anyway.
Ladies, please.
Let's head over into a quick sage advice for a letter or two.
Sage advice.
We could sing this week.
Sage advice! Hey!
Oh.
Sage advice!
I got one email here from James Boney a couple days ago. He says, this is a real brief. Thank you for putting so much time and effort into promoting our hobby. I enjoy each and every podcast, and I hope you keep your standards high. James.
We have high standards?
I guess so.
Oh, yeah, we do. Sure.
Hi, guys. This one comes from Corey Gashman.
Okay.
He says, hi, guys. I love the show and would like to download issues 6 to 9 from iTunes or somewhere else, but they are missing from iTunes. When I find them on your website at rollforinitiative.libsyn.com, there is no file to download for those 4 issues. If you could point me in the right direction, that would be great. Corey.
I can't help you.
I
can't. Anyway, I'm not in those shows, so why even download them?
You're in 6 to 9.
I am?
Yeah, aren't you?
No, not that far back, I don't think, am I?
I don't know. Let's see.
I
Got
thought you.
my iTunes up right now.
I thought you were in there, Nick.
Maybe. I don't know. It's been a while.
Well, we'll have Mr. Jason check up on those files.
Yeah. Sometimes in the interwebs, things get a little botched up, so we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Corey.
That's the first segment with Blackstone's vote.
So Nick was on the show. Haha.
Well,
That's when Nick was just a fan.
yeah, I was just some guy.
Just some guy.
Yeah.
And someone asked if Jason still had his rooms available for Gen Con that he was holding on to that he wanted to get rid of from the Omni, but I think Jason said he got rid of them already.
Yeah, I think he did. Well, we can check back on that, but I think you're right. I think he already got rid of them.
Cool. So I think that's going to wrap up the Sage Advice. Just some quick emails, but if you want to email us, rfistaff@gmail.com, or you could go to osrgaming.org and leave us a note there, or you can call 570-865-4210, the RFI hotline. And that'll bring us into Table Manners.
Typical. Of all the evil creatures in the world, I'd like to find one with table manners.
What are you kidding me? I spent years cultivating the worst table manners on the planet.
Table manners.
So for Table Manners... Oh, sorry, Nick, I didn't know you were doing that.
No, I was like, table manners this week, huh?
Yeah. Well, I guess I didn't have Table Manners because I jumped into your spot.
I don't know. We pulled up. We're going to do something kind of interesting. Lethal damage versus subdual damage. I'm like, okay. So how do you guys play it? Do you use it at all?
Yes, I do.
You do, really?
I do use lethal damage versus subdual damage or subdue damage.
And how do you play it out?
I ask a player if they're involved with, say, a non-threatening situation, such as if they're in a bar fight.
Uh-huh.
I will ask the player if they want to do damage that they're actually hurting,
right,
or killing the opponent, or they're just doing subdual damage enough to knock them out.
Right.
And
now,
usually,
what is subdual damage calculated from like regular hit points?
I just keep it really simple. I just use regular hit points for it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
I usually, and when they get to a quarter of what their hit points are, I usually say that they're knocked out.
Okay.
What about you, Nicholas?
Oh, well.
Saint Nick?
Well, I haven't really run into that many times where I had to use subdual damage. Most of the players I have just like to go out and kill things. So, but sometimes if somebody wants to just knock somebody out, or basically using the flat of the blade approach,
right? I
guess, especially when you're talking subdual damage, most people think, oh yes, subduing a dragon. That's an obvious thing, but I usually play like maybe if they're doing the flat of the blade or of a bladed weapon, then maybe half the damage is actually real. So when they get down to like maybe about a quarter of their hit points, then they're knocked out.
Huh. What about you, Crisp?
I pretty much handle it somewhat similar to how Vince does it. I just use like non-lethal damage the way you would in 3rd edition. Or if you do it's a separate hit point total, but if it reaches the same amount of hit points as they actually have, they're knocked out. It's easy. You don't have to worry about like 50% of the hit points is this, and then like, because by the book it's really complicated, isn't it?
I don't even know.
It's a little more bookkeeping, I should say.
I don't use the book
method. Because when you're talking about the subdual stuff in the DMG, it's it's on page 67. Striking to subdue. This is effective against some monsters, as indicated. Monster manual or here in such attacks use the flat, butt, haft, pommel, or otherwise non-lethal parts of the weapons concerned, but are otherwise the same as other attacks. Note that unless expressly stated otherwise, all subduing damage is 75% temporary, but 25% of such damage actually damaging to the creature being subdued. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So this means that 40 hit points of subdued damage has been inflicted upon an opponent. The creature has actually suffered 10 hit points of real damage. The above, of course, does not apply to player characters.
Yeah, that's a little too complicated for me. So.
Yeah, so actually, going by the book, only 25% of the damage is real. Mm-hmm. I would say like half the damage was real. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's if you do it by the book. I mean, if you want to really just keep it simple, just do 3/4 of the hit points, and then once they get to that,
but I think the important thing is they have to announce that they're doing subdual damage with their weapon.
Yeah.
That's the important part. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also with subdual damage. I like to also if the player scores like say a natural 20, I like to do the knockout blow, like roll a percentile to see if they knocked the character out.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. It's a good way.
It's kind of like you give like a system shock roll, pretty much.
That would make sense. I could see you doing that. Like they get that. Because they get that sort of hit.
Because you've seen it many times in history, like movies and stuff like that. Not history because we weren't alive, but fights and things like that. The guy gets one punch, the guy goes whoa, spins around and is on the ground.
Yeah. The good old lucky punch there,
Why not? That'd be like a punch, a natural 20, and a system shock roll, because, it's a shock to the body.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's actually, in fact, what is happening. Your brain gets jolted.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. But there really isn't much to the rule in the book. It's only that one brief paragraph. I'm just kind of curious why it doesn't apply to player characters.
Because you're the hero.
Okay, enough said.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Well, I don't know. I would actually kind of play it that, player characters, why couldn't they have subdual damage agained them?
Players, they get it.
Yeah,
I've had many adventures when we were doing training in the adventures, and we would say that you were fighting this guy, but it's all damage is some dual damage, and just when you got to a certain point, you would, bow gracefully out or get knocked out.
Mm-hmm. Right. Or maybe there's a particular combat going on. Maybe, like, I don't know, maybe a troop of hobgoblins were sent by the big bad guy, but they were instructed to only capture the player characters. So maybe they were only doing some dual damage. That would be an instance that you would use that maybe against the player characters.
How would you describe it to them then?
Blackjack to the back of the head. Or I can't, you're a worthy opponent, but I can't very well have you following me. Punch. Like the Princess Bride.
Maybe something like that. I don't know. I would just maybe say the hobgoblins are hitting you, but it seems like they're kind of pulling their punches a bit. They're not hitting as hard as you would expect them to be.
How about just like not telling the player at all and just making them think it's real damage?
And then having him telling him he falls unconscious?
Yeah.
That could work.
Yeah, I guess you could do it that way too. I suppose so.
Cool. Tell us how you use your damage. rfistaff@gmail.com. And we'll head into game mechanics.
You think I'm mad? Perhaps I am.
What are you, a wizard, a genius?
Darn. A perfectly good brain wasted.
Game mechanics.
Game mechanics this week is going to be infravision and ultravision. And how you run it. Vince, how do you play ultravision and infravision? Do you use them?
Yes. Every character class has their whatever ability, and I would use it and allow them to use it, but there's always restrictions on it. Mm-hmm. Like, if there is light in the room, you wouldn't obviously not be using the infravision or the ultravision, depending on what type of light source it is. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact for infravision, you can't be using it in a dungeon when there's a torch lit. You can't, in that circle, you just can't use it. Some people argue that, well, beyond the torchlight you can see. I won't let them do that because they're standing in the torchlight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm exactly the same way.
If they go to the edge of the torchlight and look, I will say yes because the torchlight's behind them. So their eyes are not being distracted by the light. So they could focus. I would go with that. Nick?
I agree. I would do it the same way when you're talking about infravision or ultravision. And got to keep in mind, they're like two opposite types of vision. Infravision, obviously on the infrared part of the spectrum, below red. And ultravision is ultraviolet, the ultraviolet part of the spectrum. So, and I also play infravision that it does not work in seeing undead.
True.
Because they don't give off heat. Mm-hmm. And infravision is a heat source type thing. Also, it wouldn't, unless specified about a particular construct, I wouldn't have it like you could detect like a flesh golem or a stone golem or some other type of artificial construct, unless in one way or another it does project some sort of heat. So those are some things you gotta keep in mind. At least I keep in mind when player characters use it. But ultravision, I think that's the one when I think of that type, it's the one that like demons and devils have.
Yeah.
And in fact, what is it? The one it's one demon. In fact, it's out of the Fiend Folio. I'm trying to remember. It's the Nyaca demon or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it has, I think it has, it could see the entire spectrum of radiation. Infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. So it could see everything, which is kind of weird if you kind of think about it. Mm-hmm. But as far as like the infravision thing, I would play it the same way you guys do. You know, if you're on the edge of the torchlight, whatever light source it is, and you're looking out away, yes, you can use your infravision, but not while you're standing in near the light source, whatever it may be.
Now, do you guys play it like it's just black and white, but you can see everything? Or do you play it as actual heat sources?
I do as heat sources.
I do too. I do it as heat sources, like a conglomerate of different colors, I guess. That's
like
how
Predator vision?
Yeah, Predator vision.
Yeah, pretty much.
What about you, Chrispy?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, in the game yesterday, I actually had them ask about infravision if they could see. I'm like, oh no, it's like heat signatures. It's not you can see in the dark. I know there are a lot of people who do it as black and white as well, but like I do it pretty much by the book, so it's heat signatures. And I've never actually had anyone use ultravision, so.
Yeah, it's not like I said, that's not one available to any of the character races. It's usually to like demons and devils and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, if I'm not mistaken, though, it's like it detects magical, like, and if there's like a magic sword around while someone's using ultravision, it gets spoiled. Pretty sure. I believe so.
I don't think that's true.
I've never heard of that myself.
I have to call you out on that one, Chrispy.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Well, you're saying black and white and all that. I consider that low light.
Well, for ultravision is what I was saying.
Well, black and white, low light vision. I don't think many people use the low light vision optional rule, but I do kind of use it with certain characters. For instance, say you're a halfling and you were raised in the caves. I would think you would have a low light vision thing going for you.
Well, don't they have infravision anyway?
Halflings?
I thought they did. I thought they did.
All right, fine. You're a human then.
Okay.
Change it to that. You're a human and you would have low light vision. So you would see things in black and white if there's just a slight light in the cave area.
Okay.
That's what I use.
I can see that maybe. Yeah.
Would you guys consider using low light or no?
No, not really. I don't use it. At least not in like my older D&D stuff. Like, it's part of the game now. In like 3.5 and the edition that shall not be named.
Here it is in the player's handbook about halflings with their infravision. Certain halfling characters have infravision. Those with mixed blood are assumed to have infravision, which function up to 30 feet distance, while those of pure stoutish blood are able to see heat radiation variation up to 60 feet. So there you had it.
Yeah. So then, okay, so we were wrong.
So what? We were wrong. Okay. Sorry, I had to look it up in the book.
This is not the Save or Die podcast where we make up our own rules, so.
Yep, there's right there in the book.
If you want to make up your own rules, listen to Save or Die podcast.
The other one that you host.
Yes, that's correct. And Chrispy's on there, too.
That's right. I am. I'm looking for ultravision. Here we go. Ability radiation above violet minimum visible spectrum is noted.
You want to read that so we can understand it?
I'm just skimming. Magic weapons which shed illumination spoil ultravision capability. Booyah, I was right.
Oh, spoil ultra. I thought you said it spoils the sword.
No, spoils ultravision.
Oh, okay, then yes, I will agree with you there.
Your vision spoils the sword.
I thought they took the magical properties away from the sword.
That would be cool. Look at the magical sword drain the energy away from it. Yeah, that'd be hell of a power, yeah.
Now, how would you guys handle, say, you were in the cave, the dwarf character runs up ahead, and he's using his infravision, running around, checking things out, and wham, one of the bad guys comes around the corner and shoves a torch right in his face.
Ooh.
Now, would there be any... Not burning him, just shoves it in his face because they know. They're smart enough to know that a dwarf could see in the dark somewhat. Did you guys any damage?
I don't know. It's kind of metagaming on the DM's part because it's like, how does this bad guy know that there's a dwarf there in the first place, and that he's using the like, if the dwarf doesn't have any light, and the bad guy has light, the advantage would be for the dwarf to see the bad guy first because he's got something that sheds light. It's the same thing with monsters. Monsters, that they're assumed to always, like, even if it's a human, if they're in a dungeon, they're assumed to have infravision.
Okay, fine, we'll change it up then, since you want to be Mr. Technical now. The dwarf is scouting up ahead, and he trips over a trap that springs a light. A big, large light source right in his face. Because it was a trap.
Maybe like sets off a fireball.
Not really a fireball, just a light, kind of like a flash of light to blind everybody so they could be ambushed.
Ah.
So, say he's walking, he trips over a wire, boof, a light. And then, say the goblins come out and they attack because they take the advantage of you being blind for that 1 second.
If I was the player, I would be, what an oddly convenient trap. But no, I get what you're saying.
Jeez.
It's like an automatic... I would think that the shift from infravision would be... It would be something that your body would automatically do. Like, it might take a second or two, but, like, I don't think it would be a whole surprise segment. But a bright flash of light will blind anyone, so...
Yeah, but especially, I'm trying to get across the infravision part. When people wear night vision goggles and they see a big thing of light, they get blinded from it. I know it's an external source looking through, but it's kind of the same thing.
It's true. Or
the Predator, when he saw the heat signatures and he got that really big heat signature blown up in his face, he kind of like flinched away.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, that happens to anyone. Like, if you have glow-in-the-dark vision or not, if you have a bright flash of light in your face, it's going to blind you.
So the point is, I'm trying to say, is you give damage, or just you're just going to stun the character?
No. I wouldn't give damage either. I would say they might be blinded for maybe a round or two before they could adjust themselves again because of the surprise. They weren't expecting it.
What would Trask do?
You seem to be kind of vehement about this, but, like, what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter if they have infravision or not. A trap of that type would blind them no matter what. The infravision thing, I guess, might cause a little bit of, a little more, startling, but you have to go, is this a magical light source? Does it shed heat? If it doesn't shed heat, then it's not going to affect the infravision. Because it doesn't have a heat signature.
Okay, but you mean to tell me that damaging your eyes is not damaging your hit points?
Well, it's like spraining your ankle.
That damages your hit points.
Sure.
I have to disagree. Like, sure, it's fatigue. Like, hit points isn't necessarily strictly bodily damage. But, I mean, something as minor as twisting your ankle. Like, if I twist my ankle in real life, it hurts for, like, a couple of minutes. It's not something that is going to affect me adversely throughout the entirety of my adventuring day until a cleric heals me.
Actually, how do you know that? What if you twisted enough that you hurt some of the muscles in you? That would hamper your ability to move around and hamper your ability to be healthy.
Well, you're taking the hit points things too literally. It's abstracted for a reason. It's like...
There's no Jason here. Someone has to be him.
You have, like, even in real life, you have things like adrenaline and endorphins that will help you to shrug off pain.
Only for a short time.
That's true. But, I mean, like, if you're scared throughout, like, running through this dungeon, it's like, if I jump off a 20-foot building, that is going to hurt. If I fall in a pit trap onto some spikes, yeah, that's going to hurt.
Uh-huh.
It,
So if you fall in a pit with a bunch of rocks and twist your ankle, that's not going to hurt?
that is going to hurt. But if I trip over a loose flagstone and twist my ankle, that's not going to hurt.
Have you
if
ever
I'm
rolled your
flashed
ankle
in the face with a bright light, it's not going to hurt as much as if I fell into a 10-foot deep pit trap of like just jagged rocks.
Yeah, but it's still going to affect you in a way that, you don't know. It's still going to hurt you.
That's true. But I don't think it's going to be enough where it's going to be a super serious detriment for your fighter or your cleric, whose job is to go into these places.
And that's why I said it would do like physical. You wouldn't lose hit points, but I think it would stun the person enough. Maybe you're delayed for for a few segments.
Yeah, I would go with Nick.
Maybe you're okay. The light trap goes off and you're stunned for 1d4 segments, something like that. Just kind of throwing some arbitrary numbers out there. So that's how I would treat it.
Why can't the light burn your eyes?
Yeah, but my point initially was that this type of trap, the infravision is not going to play a factor into it. It's going to happen no matter what type of vision you have.
So you play it so that the infravision you can just automatically turns on and off as needed.
It's like if you have a torch, if there's a torch lit while you have infravision around, you're not just like, oh God, I can't see. Your eyes would adjust. It's a natural function of your body.
I've always played it that you have to like turn it on. That's how I've always played it. Turn it on, turn it off. I know it's not like that, but I've always used it like that.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. There's no
different
right
strokes
or
for
wrong
different
way.
folks.
That's why I'm arguing the fact of how it can affect someone, like a light spell can affect somebody. Even if it's automatic, like Chrispy's doing, it's still going to affect you. Because of that 1 second, that bright light, and you're going to see that big heat vision, that could damage your eyes.
To an extent, yeah. Maybe. Would you let players do that to your NPCs?
Of course.
All right. That's all that matters, really. Is that it is fair to an extent.
Oh, it goes both ways in that situation. Yeah. If I can do something to the players, they can obviously do it back to the NPCs or the monsters.
Yeah, and that's the best way to
that wouldn't be fair if I did it one way, not the other. That's not balanced. Wait, this is not a balancing game. Never mind.
Yeah.
So now if we argue that, and I won. Vince won. Take that, Chrispy!
I think Vince was in another podcast entirely during that segment.
What podcast was I on?
The Vince Show.
Oh, okay.
Certainly not on RFI, where Chrispy schools Vince in arguing.
Hey!
Vince
Sorry, I meant game mechanics.
Yeah. So 1-0, Chrispy loses, and we'll head into let's head into the Creature Feature Theater tonight.
Creature Feature Theater.
Creature Feature this week. What do we have, Nick?
Creature Feature this week out of the Fiend Folio is the Shocker.
This is I consider the Shocker like the Mystery Man type creature.
This is a weird monster. Well, obviously out of the Fiend Folio it's going to be weird anyway. But I just like how the first paragraph in the description of the thing is speculation of where did this thing come from? Is it from another prime-material plane? Is it from the speculative electromagnetic plane? They just don't know. But it's a nasty little monster because it obviously does electrical damage. They could do 10 points of electrical damage on a successful hit. If you say versus death magic, it's half. And if you're wearing metal armor, good luck, because metal armor is treated as AC 10 against the attack.
What I really like about it is they say it's possibly a projection from another plane. It's not actually there on the plane.
And they're projecting their bodies.
Yeah.
Or their spirit or something like that. And I guess if you're wearing plate mail, shockers get a +2 to hit you.
Yeah.
Only magical weapons affect the shocker. And if struck by a held metal weapon, the effect is as though the shocker has attacked. So even if you hit the thing with with a sword or a mace, they'll conduct through the weapon. You're going to get hit with 10 points anyway.
This is a weird... Like, this monster is way too strong to be a 1+ monster.
Well...
Number of attacks, 11. Have fun getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
this 11.
This creature... it says blue electric. Change it to black electric. Dress it in black and have it as the Angel of Death.
Yeah, it's like...
Well, number appearing is 6 to 24.
Yeah, and they do 11 hits, and it's 10 points of damage each.
It's the Angel of Death, the Reaper.
I just wonder if that number of attacks might be a typo.
Yeah, why does it get 11 attacks?
Yeah, I think that might be a typo.
So what else gets 11 attacks? Like growls?
Yeah.
That's because they have tentacles.
This is the thing that you see out of the corner of your eye following you around.
This is the thing you use when you're really mad at your group and you don't want to play anymore.
It has a 50% magic resistance, too.
There's no way this is a 1+2 hit die. Like, you can't throw this at a first level party and expect them to live. Like, not even like get away or defeat it. It's just they will die.
Well, you're just screwed when you see them.
This is where the DM is just I'm fed up with you people.
Exactly.
You're gonna be attacked by 10 shockers.
This is the monster you use when you don't want to play anymore.
Oh, you do like that?
Done.
Oh, you do like that idiot in that Dungeon Masters movie? Have them all get sucked up into that one thing.
Yeah, it's 6 4-sided dice. That's more than like all the magic missiles.
Yeah, I mean, but it's 10 points a pop per hit. I'm like, and
it has 11. That's 100.
That's 110 points of damage.
Yeah,
per shocker. I have to believe that number of attacks is a typo.
I think the hit dice is a typo.
You think it's like more like 12?
I think it's supposed to be a 12 hit die creature.
I wonder if there is an errata on this. I have to look it up.
Maybe.
Well, you would there was many printings of the Fiend Folio. I would think that they would probably get it right in one of them.
I don't think there was only a couple of printings, but I don't know if there was a errata or not for it at all. I have to check, but it just seems like 11 attacks. That just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, like I mean, like one attack for 10 damage. Sure, that's cool. Like,
yeah, for the number appearing, it makes sense.
Yeah, even then, like that's still a pretty, bad A monster.
Yeah, that's a bad mama jama.
Yeah.
So, besides obviously, like we were saying, this is where you use a monster to where you're just tired of playing. How else would you use this monster, Vince?
Like I said, I would definitely turn the creature into a black everything, black lightning, black whatever, and have them follow a party around. There's that mysterious figure that every time we turn around he's there, but then when they really look he's not. Stalking the party members. To shock and kill them.
I would play it to where they were different colors.
Like a pink one would follow them around?
You have a whole bunch of them. One's blue, the other one's green, the other one's yellow. He's happy with different colors, types of electrical shock. Yeah, just kind of mix it up a little bit. And being like they're neutral, I guess, with chaotic tendencies, yeah, I'd play them as kind of completely unpredictable, mischievous, and downright just mean.
I'm looking. There is no errata for the Fiend Folio except for the 3.5 edition.
This thing isn't 3.5?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Apparently it is.
Huh.
So I guess number attacks 11 is correct.
Jeez.
That just seems insane.
Yeah. I would not use this monster.
Yeah, I don't know if I would either. This would be like... I would use it if it was the end-all, be-all of things. I'm bringing the campaign to a grinding halt. Here's 44 shockers. Have fun.
It's the shockers would win.
Yeah. The only way you could really defeat this creature by reading it is you got to defeat this thing with ranged weapons. It's the only way you can actually nail this thing. And I guess ranged weapons, their AC is 10. I think, yeah.
No, it's against
AC 0
but against
is
missile fire and non-metal. This thing is not. Dang you, Britain!
Don't blame Britain.
That's where this came from.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's the thing, though. If you read in the description, when a shocker discharges, it collapses to fine inert dust. So a shocker only has one successful attack.
Oh.
Once it uses an attack, it's gone.
Okay.
Poof. It turns to dust.
So there is no 11 attacks.
I think maybe it can hit 11 people.
I don't know. I think the number of attacks is still a typo. I think it's supposed to be 1.
Yeah. Which then makes this actually not super bad. Yeah, I think I would errata this for my own house and 1 attack, kind of play it as it is in the description.
Yeah, and apparently...
And it's still a nasty monster, because it does...
once it zaps itself, it zaps itself out of existence. Poof, gone. So...
Now, here's the question. Do you award experience points for that?
Once it zaps you?
Yeah. Because it kills itself. It's like a bee. But you did fight it and survive. Well, presumably.
I think I'd only count the ones that they actually attacked. That the party actually attacked. I wouldn't count the shockers that went in there, they hit, and they went poof.
Yeah, I'm with Nick. I'm thinking that's a typo.
Yeah, it has to be. It just doesn't seem right for a one-hit dice creature. You know?
Yeah.
You're like, really?
Anyway, okay, fine. Let's leave up to people out there, because I'm sure somebody has some type of errata or some type of suggestions about this creature. We'd like to hear
find something about it, yeah.
And let's head into the 10-foot pole.
The Dragon's Horde.
We're in the Dragon's Horde. I made a mistake. I thought we were doing the show, so there'll be no 10-foot pole just yet. But the Gauntlets of Ogre Power this week. Right, Nick? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Have you used these magical items at all?
Oh, yeah. Pretty common in my game world.
Pretty common?
And it's like one of the obligatory items that you find in any given horde almost. I mean, you know, the +1 sword and the Gauntlets of Ogre Power. Ta-da! It's just like, it's almost synonymous with D&D. This type of magical item, at least in my opinion.
And you go straight by the book, or do you modify it at all?
I go straight by the book. 18 double-aught strength, you know, the +6, 3 to hit, +6 damage, can fit everybody from like halfling size up to a human. So,
no half-orc?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. And maybe half-ogre if you use those, too.
So you could be a real ogre.
Yeah.
He'd be 1.5 ogre.
He'd be 1.5 ogres.
He'd be half ogre.
Chrispy, what about you with this magical item?
I have never actually got to use them, but, they're iconic.
Yeah.
And I don't really see the need to change them. I think, 18 00 strength and +3 to hit, +6 damage is great.
The nasty thing about this thing is using in conjunction with the Girdle of Giant Strength.
And the Hammer of Thunderbolts? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And then you're just, hey guys, I'm Thor.
Yeah, pretty much.
You go, yeah. So, what about a player that picks them up, and let's just say, for instance, they put them on 18 to watch strength, but their strength is 19. Would they have any effect on his strength, pushing it down one?
Can you have 19 by the book?
Well, if you go to, what's that book? Unearthed Arcana, you can.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about Unearthed Arcana.
Why all the Unearthed Arcana hate? Why?
Because it's a bad book.
It is not a bad book.
It's just the stupidest thing. It's like, why can't you just put, my guy is handsome?
Well, just don't use comeliness.
Yeah, just don't use it.
That's true. And I like the expanded magic item list in there.
The book
That's
was
a whole
written,
other debate.
the book was written because Gary Gygax was harped on by many people to write optional rules for the game.
Also, TSR needed money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he said,
it's like, fine, here, take your stupid rules. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, so he just said, here, fine, here you go, people. I may not really like this book, and probably people are going to say this is the worst book in the world in about 20 years from now, but I need money. I got to feed my family.
It's like he's some kind of oracle.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's funny, that book did sell quite well, and I think the most popular selling book that they've ever sold, other than the core books, is the Oriental Adventures book. I was looking at it the other day online. Sold the most units was the Oriental Adventures.
I know I've yet to find a copy of Unearthed Arcana that is not falling apart.
That's because so many people have used it.
No, it was something to do with the print run.
Yeah, it was bad
binding
glue.
is just bad.
Yeah, mine's gone the heck, which is weird because it was printed by Random House like every other AD&D first edition book. And my DMG is in awesome shape.
Well, I guess the rumor is with the orange spines is they used cheaper product material to put it together so they could save money on the books and make more of a profit. They really weren't thinking long-term use of the books. They were just like, hey, we're going to put this book out and we know it's going to fall apart in 5 to 10 years. What do we care? We'll have other books out by then and not be out of business.
We successfully derailed our discussion.
Yeah, we did.
Anyways,
Chrispy, take that.
I was just thinking, is there maybe other variations of these gauntlets that you could do?
You could do gauntlets of halfling power.
I was just thinking that, just to be a jerk.
It's the cursed version. You have 3 strength. Or actually, let's not, not to be...
Gives you bare minimum strength of 9.
I was going to say gauntlets of toddler power.
Cobalt strength.
Cobalt strength, yeah.
How about really a rare item, gauntlets of Titan power?
Ooh. What would you even get for that?
Your strength would just be an infinity symbol.
Well, beyond a storm giant.
What would the Titan strength be? What, 25?
I think so, that's actually what it is, yeah.
I think it would be if you go by I think the Deities and Demigods book, does it go beyond 24 as far as ability scores?
I think it goes up to 25. I think that's the maximum.
Yeah.
And it's plus 7 to hit and then plus 14 damage or something like that.
Yeah, I think Titans have a 25 strength. I have to look that up in my monster manual, which I don't have right now.
I mean, that's...
Now,
would you get projectional telepathy like Superman, where you're not just crushed under the weight of whatever you're lifting?
I don't know. Good question.
It's a fantasy game. Of course you wouldn't get crushed under it.
Well, yeah, like, so you would have, I can't remember what the term for the power is, but it's a power Superman has that, like, when he grabs a plane by the wing to slow it down, it doesn't rip the wing off. That's because he projects a telepathic field, or telekinetic field, something like that, over what he's holding.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't care. I think it's a cool ability.
Yeah, because if you look in Superman Returns, when he tries to stop the plane, like, he actually damages the plane.
I'm sorry, Chrispy, I'm disconnecting you now. You mentioned the worst Superman movie ever.
No, I didn't mention Superman 4.
Okay, that's true.
Hey, The Quest for Peace had Christopher Reeves in it. Leave it alone.
All right, okay. Let's
Nuclear Man.
Oh God,
stupidest thing.
But no, so let's talk about the back to the gauntlets of ogre power. Now these gauntlets, there's some history about them. You think they were actually made of ogre hands, possibly, and then enchanted?
Well, if you go by the book, they look like typical handwear for armor. They're just a normal pair of gauntlets.
Yeah, but that's boring.
I would say they're made from, like, the skin of an ogre.
Yeah.
I would say maybe they're, like, the inside, because, like, you know, the gauntlets will have, like, a glove-type part inside. Maybe that's made from ogre leather.
Crispy.
That's cool. Yeah. But it still has the ogre part.
Yes. All right, well, let's throw it out there for anybody who has any history behind it or knows any good facts on it or disputes Crispy and his 25 Titan power. Or his Superman theory, or Superman Returns is a good movie, but anyway.
I didn't say it was a good movie. I just said it wasn't the worst Superman movie.
10-foot poles up next.
Ooh, one of those electronic voting dealies.
So for the 10-foot pole, we decided this week, what brand of dice do you like to buy? There are 4 options here are Game Science, Crystal Cast,
Sucker,
ChessX, or Q Workshop. And I guess Crispy is going to be going for Game Science?
I am.
Nick?
I actually like Crystal Cast.
Crystal Cast, really?
I don't care for Game Science because I think it's all a gimmick.
I go for ChessX. I like all their different dice. Plus
ChessX has some nice dice too, especially when we go to the con.
Oh yeah,
get the mug o dice.
Aren't they the ones that make the Elven die and everything like that, and the specialty dice like that?
I believe you're right. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And they make the Call of Cthulhu dice.
Yeah,
Nick, you should know that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Mr. Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, those are nice dice, but a little out of my price range.
Oh, okay. So vote on there, vote often, and tell us how you vote. Vote more than once if you can. Jason. And I guess it's going to conclude the show for this week. What do you guys have anything else to say? Or
No, I got nothing.
Oh, wait, I have one more thing to say. Take that, Vince. No!
The catchphrase is "Take that, Crispy."
It's trying to. I need to trademark my phrase so you can't have a variation on it.
Well, obviously mine came before yours came out, so...
Oh, it's true. Damn it.
So take that, Crispy is the catchphrase.
All right, he's got me there. I can't.
Keep it original, keep it old school.
Stupid Glenn.
And good night, Glenn. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Roll for initiative.